What's up everyone, Darcblade here, returning with another Mass Effect 3 multiplayer revamped episode, where we take a look at various classes who may have changed since their original video. This is normally down to gameplay changes. In this episode we're going to be going back and taking a look at a class who, thanks to one buff, has made his build entirely different. Thanks to this buff to the move Incinerate, this guy is now a master of all the tech combos, and that is the N7 Paladin. The original build I used to use for the N7 Paladin before the buff to Incinerate was a build that skipped out Incinerate altogether in favour of maxing out maximum health and shields and maxing out energy drain to give yourself more survivability, basically making this class a bit of a tanking class. At the time when the N7 Paladin was the newest character out and when the video did come out, there wasn't many other tanking classes in the game, and this one fulfilled the role for a little while until classes such as the Geth Juggernaut came out. Now I use the following build. I max out energy drain to give myself extra survivability. Also, this can be used to set up tech combos on synthetic enemies or enemies who have shields or barriers. Not much has changed from the original build with energy drain. Next, I put maximum points into Incinerate. Incinerate is one of the key reasons why I'm making a revamped guide on the N7 Paladin. Now, when the video was originally made, fire explosions that you create with Incinerate would only activate if you killed the enemy with a follow-up tech ability. This was actually the same with Cryo Explosions too. They patched this a fair few months back, and now Incinerate just simply works the same as any other tech or biotic combo. All you have to do is hit someone with Incinerate, then follow it up with a second tech move. The N7 Paladin has two choices of energy drain and snap freeze, and then you will activate the fire explosion. So I max out Incinerate, putting points into freeze combo, burning damage, and radius. Thanks to snap freeze, freezing combo means that Incinerate will be doing a ton of damage if used after you hit someone with snap freeze. And finally, out of the abilities, I again max out snap freeze, putting points into tech combo, as I will be trying to do as many tech combos as I can with this class. Next, Cryo Explosion for the nice damage debuff, and finally, Reach. As for the passives, I put up to rank 4 in N7 Paladin, damage and capacity, and up to durability in shield mastery. I completely avoid using the shield on the N7 Paladin now, thanks to the fact that you can set off so many tech combos. As for weaponry, go with something really lightweight, something to give you that 200% cooldown bonus to help fire off as many abilities as you possibly can to create them tech combos. As for your gear slot, go with maybe the Stronghold package to increase your shields, or go with something to increase your actual tech damage. The old build, in my opinion, is still viable, especially if you want to focus on using the Omni Shield. But, however, I prefer to play the Paladin like I do in this video now, relying on your tech combos and your tech abilities over anything else. The N7 Paladin now is all about tech combos and setting up a string of tech combos to dish out a lot of damage. Also, your tech abilities will debuff enemies, meaning that you and your teammates will be dishing out more damage to them. This is especially useful on boss type characters. Anyway, the N7 Paladin, like I said, can set up a string of multiple tech combos, each a different type as well. Say for example we're fighting Geth. Firstly, as they are synthetic and they normally have shields, you hit them with energy drain. This will set them up for a tech burst. Follow up with hitting them with either snap freeze or Incinerate. In this case, I normally like to go for snap freeze. Hitting them with snap freeze will activate the tech burst, so the target who was hit with the original energy drain will take damage, as well as anyone else around them. Now, since they have been also hit with snap freeze, you can then follow that up with hitting them with Incinerate. That will create a Cryo Explosion, which also had a change from the original video. Cryo Explosions, like fire explosions, can now be activated without the target actually dying, which is great. This means that the target you hit with snap freeze originally takes damage, as well as anyone else around them. And finally, as they have been hit with Incinerate, you can again follow that up with another energy drain if they have enough shields left or are synthetic, or failing that, another snap freeze to create a fire explosion, which is a wonderful tech combo. Again, the fire explosion will damage the original target as well as anyone else around them. So as you can see, doing this rotation and chain of abilities means that you'll be doing a lot of damage from your initial abilities and from the combos they create. Also be aware that if you are using the build I'm using in this revamped guide, you should really take advantage of the fact that in the Incinerate tree you have points in freeze combo, which means that Incinerate does a lot more damage when used against frozen or chilled targets. And as you're using Snap Freeze a lot, there will be a lot of frozen and chilled targets. Also, in the Snap Freeze tree, putting points into tech combo will also mean that your tech combos will be doing a lot of damage when Snap Freeze is used. The damage output of the N7 Paladin is staggering now. It is a very powerful class to play as. Be aware though, there is a bug with the N7 Paladin when it comes to fire explosions activated by Snap Freeze. For some strange reason, fire explosions activated by Snap Freeze will explode around the N7 Paladin instead of the target hit with Incinerate. This could be slightly annoying, but as long as you're fighting up close with enemies, this shouldn't be too much of a problem. If you were to go for this build, which I would advise because it is very fun and very fast paced, you can dish out a lot of damage using this spec. But if you do try it, be aware that you won't be as durable as you were in the original spec I posted. However, as long as you are using energy drain quite often, you should still be quite tough to take down. I know this also doesn't necessarily utilise the ability of the Omni Shield, but this is the way I prefer to play the N7 Paladin nowadays. I should mention that the changes that BioWare put in place with the Fire Explosions, Incinerate and Cryo Explosions means that a lot of the tech-based classes are potentially different to my original videos. I will be trying to update as many as I can, but I also want to try to finish doing at least one class guide on each character in the game, especially before any news of the next Mass Effect comes out. Remember that if you're interested in my old build, a build that focuses more on the Omni Shield and survivability, then go back and check out my old multiplayer class guide to the N7 Paladin. This guide also has tips on the basics of how to play the class as well, if you're interested. I'll leave a link down in the description below where you can check it out. Anyway, I've been Darcblade, bringing you my revamped guide to the N7 Paladin in Mass Effect 3's multiplayer. Hope you enjoyed the video, thanks for watching, subscribe and like for more.